Hello and good day, Mike Adcock with an update on severe tropical storm Trami in the western Pacific. This is as of the 21st of August at 9 Zulu. Taking a look at Trami this evening, 9 Zulu, JMA placed the center of circulation 105 kilometers north-northeast of Taipei. Winds are now 60 knots, gusting to 80. That's with a 10-minute average. Using a 1-minute average actually raises it just to typhoon strength. Movement is off to the west-northwest at 15 knots and pressure 970 hectopascal. Currently have typhoon warnings out in effect for portions of Taiwan and eastern China. Of course, for storm information specific to your region, monitor the forecasts and warnings issued by your local meteorological agency. Taking a look at the 6 Zulu surface analysis, not really much to talk about here. We are approaching landfall, so the forecast discussion here is really not much. I mean, we're just watching the last little bit before landfall. So continued westward movement is going to get attracted to this weakness, and that's partially due to Utor from a couple weeks ago. Still kind of a weakness there. So once it does make landfall, looking for a west-southwesterly or southwesterly movement as it traverses eastern China there. Taking a look at the JMA track forecast, again, not much to talk about here. It is moving just north of Taiwan and is expected to make landfall overnight, early tomorrow morning in Fujian Province in eastern China, and then after that continuing to fall apart as it moves west-southwestward across China, or at least westward across China. Even though the track does have it moving north, of course these effects and a lot of intense weather is being associated with this system, so majority of Taiwan is being affected by this storm, and the effects will not be limited solely to Fujian Province. Surrounding provinces will also get into the mix here. This is Taiwan's forecast. Again, really not much to talk about here, just a general westward or may be slightly north of west movement before landfall. Here's Hong Kong's track, again brushing up against Taiwan, but again looking at tropical storm force winds at least for northern portions of Taiwan that will be affecting Taipei and surrounding regions. Here's the JTWC forecast again. You can see that wind radii affecting northern Taiwan, including the Taipei area, and then that will continue on until it makes landfall. Here's the track guidance on Trami. Again, really pretty much in line with what we're seeing from the major agencies. Pretty good track guidance. We should see a continued westward movement, and like I mentioned, a west-southwesterly or southwesterly movement over the next 2 to 3 days. Of course, with landfall, it should weaken pretty rapidly, so really not expecting a great deal of change in strength, but prior to landfall, may see some slight strengthening, but really 60 versus 65 knots, it's going to be pretty minor. The Dvorak analyses, pretty much all agencies going with 4.5. Couldn't get anything out of Tokyo from 6 Zulu. It was pretty, not exactly sure what's going on there, but Nesdis and JTWC both looking at about a 1.4 to 1.6 band on the convection spiral, so that brings us up to a 4.5. The advanced Dvorak also going 4.6, which would be about 80 knots. I think that's a little overzealous, honestly, but definitely though pretty strong looking storm. Here's our radar imagery out of China, or out of Taiwan. As I mentioned earlier, significant rain showers and thunderstorms across a majority of the island. So while they're not taking a direct impact, and the bulk of the winds are probably going to be, or likely on the northern side of the storm or the right front quadrant, that's not keeping Taiwan away from any showers. I mean, that they are going to get torrential rainfalls. Besides gusty winds, they will begin gusty winds. You know, you're looking at threats from flash flooding, mudslides. You know, the typical that we talk about with the landfall and tropical cyclones. So, and same's going to hold true for portions of eastern China. Shear tendency, really nothing much to talk about here. Pretty light and should remain such over the next day prior to the landfall. So, take a look at Taipei. 28 degrees right now, mostly cloudy skies. Moderate rain showers, that's reducing your visibility down to 3 kilometers. It is gusting up to 34 knots. Pressure down to 981 hectopascal, or about 28.98 inches. Again, gonna have to keep an eye out for for the side effects from Trami as she makes landfall. Of course, as I mentioned, the gusty winds. But even though the eye will not make landfall in northern Taiwan, that is not keeping the majority of Taiwan away from the torrential rainfall and the flash flooding. Of course, continue to follow up. I will be posting updates on Trami as she continues to approach eastern China overnight on the westernpacificweather.com website, as well as Twitter and Facebook. You can also join in on the conversation at Storm2K on their global tropical discussion there. I'll be posting from time to time some updates with the radar imagery as well. So again, stay tuned in. Have a great day, stay safe, and take care. Thanks.